Welcome back. So in this video we are going to test the scalability capacity of our infrastructure. So we need to run a utility called a stress utility, right, to test how our infrastructure can handle increase in load, right? Now, to be able to do that, we need to connect to our web server, but then we can't directly connect to the web server. We need to pass through another instance, and that is the bastion host. So we created a bastion host for that purpose. Okay, and to also for us to be successfully connected to the web server through the bastion host, we need to configure a security rule, right, that will allow inbound SSH. So we'll open an SSH port on the web server. So we'll do that on the web server security group, and we'll allow inbound SSH from the bastion host security group. Okay, so I'll add the inbound rule, and then that will be SSH, and it will come from the bastion host security group. So I'll select the bastion host security group, and I'll save the rule. Alright, so the first box it's ticked. The next thing to do is to now connect to the bastion host, right? So let me go back to the instances, because I'll need some details from here. And also I'm using PuTTY for this, right? You can use any other utility that you are comfortable with. So with PuTTY, first I'll open the pageant, right, to add the two key pairs for my instances, that is the web server and then the bastion host. So I'll add the key, and I'll navigate to the directory that I have here, and then these two keys, open it, and I'll close this. Okay, so once this is done, I'll go to PuTTY, and the first settings that I will do is to head to SSH auth, and then I'll allow agent forwarding. Okay, once that is also done, I'll go back to session, and this is where I connect to. I'll enter the EC2, the username on the instance, so EC2 user at, and I'll take the public IP of the bastion host. All right, copy this and paste it here, and now click on open. I'll accept this. Awesome. And then I'll now copy any of these web servers, this and this, right? They are all in the same auto scaling group. So I'll copy any of these servers, and then copy the private IP address, and I'll SSH into this, right? And then I'll type yes. Awesome. And so now I'm connected to one of the web servers in the private subnet. So we are going to stress one of these servers and then see how the auto scaling is going to react to that. So I'll clear my screen. Sorry for the mistake. So I'll type clear and then enter, and then now my screen is cleared. And I have some few commands, and we enter these commands, right? So I'll open my code editor, and you can find this commands in the study canvas or the sandbox, right? So I'll just copy this command, right? So this will download these files, right? I'll just press Y for yes, and I'll now install the stress program. Paste that here. Great, that is done. And now run the stress utility. So it will run the stress utility, and then the timeout is 600 seconds. Okay, so I'll paste that here. So while the utility is running, we can monitor the EC2 instances to see that the new ones have been spinned up, right? So I'll refresh it to keep the page current, but we should know that the stress should run and then approach up to 25% of the CPU right, of one of the server that we are currently in, because we set our tracking policy, and then the metric should be 25% usage of the current CPU. So it has to reach that point before a new instance is launched, right? So whilst we are on this page, we'll have to wait. We'll actually have to wait for a significant amount of time, because the server needs to be stressed enough to launch another one. I'll refresh it once again, and okay, still there is no activity, so it means that it is still capable. So I'll go to the auto scaling group and then check the auto scaling activity and see that if new activities, and then there is no new activity, so it means that the current state of the instances is still able to handle the load, right? The stress utility hasn't gotten to the point where it has stressed the servers enough to launch new instances. So let's pause the video here and come back later when there is a new activity. Okay, so I had to wait for about 2 minutes, and then now let me refresh it, and you can see we have 6 new activities, right? So the activity history is showing 6 new activities, and you can see there is a successful launch of new EC2 instances, and you can see their respective instance IDs. Okay, now let's go and check the instances, and we should see new instances that have been launched. So I'll click on instances here, and I'll refresh this one as well, and you should see we have 7 new instances, right? So it should be 5 minus the Bastion host and then the old cafe web server that was there. So these are 3 instances that are already launched, 2 instances that are already launched, and then 3 new ones that are currently initializing. So this confirms that our architecture or our infrastructure is now scalable, right? So let me exit from the stress, because we've now confirmed that our infrastructure is scalable. So I'll exit from the stress. Let me drag this window down here. I don't know why I'm dragging, but I just feel like it should be down there. So Control C to exit, and I don't need to even clear. Let me just close the putty. Okay, right. So this brings us to the end of this hands-on, and at the end we're able to create a highly available and a scalable infrastructure to handle changes in demand or changes in our workload. So I hope you like this hands-on. I'll see you in another video.